Welcome back to the channel, where today we're diving into a story that proves the old saying, opposites attract, is unjust for humans. Get ready to meet two of the most unlikely heroes you'll ever see. A dog who lives by the clock and a cat who couldn't care less about time. This is the story of how their incredible friendship completely transformed their world. Let's set the scene. Picture a perfect little street called Pinecrest Lane. The lawns are manicured, the houses are pristine, and everything runs like clockwork. On the porch of number 42 sits Marley, a brilliant but anxious border collie mix. For Marley, life is a schedule. He's the self-appointed superintendent of the street. At 7:15, the newspaper lands. At 7:30, the sprinklers start. At 8:02, the school bus arrives. Each event is a note in the day's symphony, and Marley's job is to make sure the rhythm is never broken. He's a creature of order, finding comfort in the predictable flow of the neighborhood. His world is black and white, a series of tasks to be completed. But just a few houses down, at number 39, lives a very different kind of philosopher. Sprawled on a sun-drenched fence, amidst a cheerfully untidy garden, is Chewie, a fluffy Maine Coon cat. Chewie sees the street's obsession with rules as a cute little game. He believes in what he calls the great maybe. Maybe the wind will toss the newspaper into the rose bushes. Maybe the mailman will get an unexpected shower from the sprinklers. For Chewie, life isn't about control. It's about embracing the beautiful chaos of the unknown. He's a laid-back observer, perfectly content to let the world unfold as it will. Marley, watching from his porch, can only huff with disapproval at this furry agent of chaos. Our story truly begins in the backyard of Marley's human, a kind, elderly man named Mr. Henderson. While Mr. Henderson is gardening, he gives Marley a loving pat, telling him he's a good boy for keeping watch. As soon as his human goes inside, Marley starts his patrol, his mission, to protect the bird feeder from squirrels. But then, the unthinkable happens. A beloved garden gnome, affectionately named Reginald, suddenly topples over with a loud thud. For Marley, this isn't just a fallen gnome. It's a crack in the foundation of his orderly world. It's pure chaos. He rushes over, whining, trying desperately to nudge Reginald back upright with his nose. But the gnome is just too heavy. And that's when a slow, gravelly voice rumbles from the top of the fence. It's Chewie. You're approaching it all wrong, the cat purrs. It's not a problem. It's a new arrangement. Marley is startled. He accuses Chewie of causing the mess, but the cat just blinks slowly and claims the wind did it, adding that the gnome was looking a bit too smug anyway. Marley is frantic. Reginald is Mr. Henderson's favorite. He must be standing upright. Chewie's simple question, why, completely stumps Marley. He's never thought about the why behind the rules. He just follows them. Begrudgingly, Chewie leaps down to help. With Marley pushing and Chewie shouldering the weight, they manage to get Reginald standing again, although he's now facing the neighbor's fence. See, Chewie says, a new perspective. Before Marley can argue, he hears Mr. Henderson calling and dashes inside, leaving him with a very confused look on his face. This was their first, reluctant collaboration. From that day on, something began to shift. A strange, unspoken partnership started to form between the dog who craved order and the cat who loved chaos. In a series of quiet moments, they started to teach each other their ways. Chewie showed Marley the profound art of relaxing in a sunbeam, and after some nervous leg twitches, Marley actually began to unwind. In return, Marley demonstrated the perfect technique for chasing one's own tailor game. Chewie attempted with a sort of elegant, lazy grace. They began to watch the neighborhood together, from their respective posts. Marley would narrate the strict schedule of the day, and Chewie would point out the beautiful rule-breaking exceptions, a stubborn dandelion pushing its way through a perfect lawn, or a colorful chalk drawing brightening up the sidewalk. Slowly but surely, their perspectives started to blend. Marley began to see the poetry in a falling leaf, not just the mess it made, and Chewie found a strange sort of comfort in the predictable rumble of the 3:15 mail truck. They were learning a new language, one that existed somewhere between rigid structure and complete freedom. But their newfound understanding was about to be put to the ultimate test. One late afternoon, the peace of Pinecrest Lane was shattered. Marley was running frantically up and down the sidewalk, his dog tags jingling with distress. Chewie, stretching lazily, noticed immediately. "You've lost the rhythm, Marley. What is it?" he asked. Marley was beside himself. It was Mr. Henderson's blue cap. His human wore it for his 4:15 afternoon walk, but it was now 4:17, and he had left without it. For Marley, this was a code red deviation. Chewie, sensing the genuine fear behind Marley's procedural panic, understood. "The great maybe took his cap," he said calmly. "Let's find it." And just like that, they became a detective duo. Marley, the bloodhound, used his incredible sense of smell, tracking Mr. Henderson's scent with military precision. Chewie, the lookout, used his vantage points on fences and rooftops, his sharp eyes scanning for anything out of place. Their search led them to the cap, snagged in the prize-winning petunias of Mrs. Peabody, the sternest, most rule-obsessed neighbor on the block. Just as they spotted it, Mrs. Peabody's voice boomed from her window. "And stay off my petunias." They both froze. Marley was terrified. The rule was clear. Do not anger the flower lady. "Abort mission," he whispered, but Chewie was unfazed. "The rule is a suggestion," he countered. "The need is real." With a brilliant plan forming in his mind, Chewie executed a flawless diversion. He delicately knocked a small ornament off Mrs. Peabody's own fence. As she turned to investigate the noise, Marley, with his heart pounding, performed a lightning-fast extraction. He snatched the cap. They bolted, a blur of fur, just as Mrs. Peabody turned back, none the wiser. They found Mr. Henderson in the park, sitting on a bench and looking a little lost without his familiar cap. Marley rushed to him, gently placing the cap in his lap. Mr. Henderson's face lit up. "Marley, my good boy. And you brought a friend," he said, noticing Chewie sitting a respectful distance away. Just then, a young girl named Anja, Chewie's human, ran up. "Chewie, there you are. Making friends with the neighborhood watch, huh?" she said, smiling. She gave Chewie a scratch behind the ears and then started chatting with Mr. Henderson. As the humans talked, the animals watched. Marley noted softly that the walk was 48 minutes late. The schedule was ruined. But Chewie pointed out the bigger picture. The cap was found. Their humans were happy and talking to each other. Anja was now helping Mr. Henderson up, and they were all walking home together. The schedule broke, Chewie observed, and something better grew in the crack. Marley looked at the setting sun, the two humans walking side by side, and then at his new friend. He proposed a new rule, the rule of partnership, for solving mysteries and watching sunbeams. Chewie, deeply suspicious of rules, considered it. Then he gave Marley a gentle headbutt, a cat's highest form of affection. "I accept this. Great, maybe," he purred. The next morning, on Pinecrest Lane, the birds chirped and the lawnmowers hummed just as they always had. But everything was different. Marley was on his porch and Chewie was on his fence. But now, they greeted each other with a friendly wag and a knowing blink. Anja brought Mr. Henderson his newspaper, and he gave her a cookie. The street wasn't just a collection of houses running on a schedule anymore. It was a community. It was softer, kinder. The invisible walls between neighbors had started to crumble, all because a dog who loved rules learned to bend, and a cat who believed in chaos found something in dance, someone worth holding on to. Their unlikely friendship didn't just change their lives, it changed everything. What an incredible story about friendship, perspective, and finding balance. It just goes to show that sometimes the best things in life happen when we break our own rules. Thanks so much for watching with us today. If you loved this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next one.